Recently, I saw a post on my FYP that asked the question why Tyla isn't in the same conversation as a Sabrina Carpenter, a Tate McRae, or a Chappell Roan. The conversation being big pop girls. First, let's scratch Tate McRae off that list. Even though she has the numbers, she displays zero of the artistry that Chappell Roan and Sabrina display. To me, Tate McRae is a good performer, but her music lacks soul. But what about these ladies makes them good global pop stars with huge streaming numbers, and why isn't Tyla brought up in these conversations? Something is preventing her from reaching that next level of pop star fame. She has the look, she has the sound, but still her numbers fall short. Why is that? The easy answer would be is that she's a woman of color, and that America only has an ear for a certain type of pop. Or maybe it's because all her songs sound the same. Or do you remember that one time she said she wasn't black? Or more accurately, that one time AA's misinterpreted what she said and assumed she said she wasn't black? Well, maybe we blackballed her and that's why she's not receiving the same numbers like the other girls. Or better yet, this is my favorite, most logical reason, her label isn't pushing her correctly and she just hasn't grown into the artist she will become. The truth lies in a little bit of everything I stated, but I say BS to the first point and the fourth. There are so many pop stars of color that have become these uber mega stars that are known internationally. Some of the biggest pop stars in the world are people of color and from the USA. Color doesn't have anything to do with star power or talent, but has the USA's ear always been open to the music that people of color have made? Yes and no. The USA now loves music that these people put out, but it hasn't always been that way. Rock and roll wasn't palatable to the rest of the USA until a white man from Memphis started doing it. Only then were they comfortable with engaging in it. Same thing with jazz. If you've ever seen Dreamgirls, they visualized this perfectly with the song Cadillac Car. It took a long time for the USA to shine up to music that was made by their own, but eventually they did. That's why a South African woman was able to win a Grammy a year after her USA debut. Believe it or not, the USA is open to the different sounds that music can take form in, as long as it remains within the structure that we are familiar with, which in this conversation is pop. Ponder Replay is a perfect example for this. Fair warning, I will be bringing up Rihanna a lot in this video because her and Tyla's career matches very closely, down to how they began. Ponder Replay is a dancehall pop fusion that served as a catalyst to Rihanna's music career. Ponder Replay for Rihanna is Water for Tyla. Let's not act like Water wasn't huge summer 23. You cannot escape that song. Tyla had our American asses pouring cold bottles of water down our back trying to do Bacardi. To this day, Water is still Tyla's most streamed song. America had an open ear for Amapiano then, and we still do now. If her songs aren't popping right now, it's not because America doesn't want to listen to it, and it's not because AAs aren't playing it. I think sometimes you guys forget that AAs make up less than 13% of the USA, and that may or may not include other nationalities that are West African or Caribbean that have been forced to fall under the American category of black. Side note, I am absolutely not one of those people that insist on calling Tyla black. I understand that the word color means something different in South Africa than it does in the USA. Who am I to demand someone to change the way they've been identifying themselves for decades because it makes me uncomfortable? Which it doesn't. I could care less what you call yourself. However, I do feel like her management should have prepared her for these cultural differences. It's their job to let her know of any cultural beliefs that she holds that impact how she carries herself, as well as the language she uses and how it may clash with whatever country she's going to. That's what it means to be a global pop star. Back to what I was saying, AAs make up less than 13% of the USA. If we were to blackball her, it really wouldn't do anything. Even when we blackballed Daniel Caesar that one time, he still has a career because we don't have numbers like that. That's just the truth. Like, us blackballing her wouldn't do nothing. It really wouldn't do nothing. I'm sorry, but like, she will be fine. So if you want to point fingers at someone to blame as to why her music isn't reflecting the numbers we think it should, point to the majority of the USA that consumes pop more than the minority. But we can't even point to them because they do play her music. Water charted on both pop and R&B hip-hop radio. This leads me to my next point. Is Tyla's fusion genre aiding in the lack of engagement her music is receiving? Genres are a funny little concept. Is Tyla Amapiano pop, R&B Amapiano, or R&B pop Amapiano?
Well, yes.
What's the pop one you said?
Pop piano. I'm a piano, pop piano. Which is cute. That's cute.
I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
Just like Rihanna found success blending pop and dancehall, Tyla found success blending pop and Amapiano, and both charted on pop radio. But let's take a step back. Tyla, for a newcomer, is doing extremely well. Tyla is just up against these girls that have captured the new sound of the era, which is 80s. It's very synth pop, very Cyndi Lauper, very ABBA, 80s. Doja Cat is about to do 80s. 80s is in. The Y2K sound and look is still in, but it's slowly, very slowly being edged out. Right now on Apple Music, you can find so many new pop artists that are reflecting this 80s theme. There's just so many people out right now that are just extremely new. And one group I am listening to right now, their name is Halt and Freddie. They are a pop group. I am loving their music. They mostly have singles out. That's how new they are. Shy Girl is my favorite. Maybe you've heard that one if you know them. I like Anti-Superstar, Fashion Over Function, Scanty Clad, not so much. They are very 80s, and I would recommend you guys go check them out. All that to say is the music scene has changed, as music always does. Music is not linear, and it's just 80s right now. And even within that, Tyla still has found mainstream success. It takes talent to do that. So people do listen to Tyla, and she does receive engagement in her music, just not as much as we think she should. And this has more to do with her label and management, the people who oversee the pushing out and marketing of her music. This leads me to my next point. Did you know that Tyla recently dropped a new EP? Really? Because I did not. I have not seen anything advertising it at all. Tyla is signed to Epic, a massive American label that has huge artists under them. Artists such as Andre 3000, Meghan Trainor, Future, Sade, and even the recently deceased Ozzy Osbourne. With a big label like this that have multiple big artists, I can imagine things can become competitive. But Tyla is still new, so maybe they're being more conservative with how they push her, even though they push water like crazy. They push water like crazy, but not Push to Start. Push to Start was a song on her self-titled album that did well, but did not reach the same level of success that Water did. But the company choosing not to push it as aggressive as Water is only one of the symptoms as to why Push to Start did not do so well. The biggest reason as to why Push to Start wasn't as well received is because it was a summer song that was dropped in autumn. I don't know if you guys felt me roll my eyes, but I rolled my eyes extremely hard. We all know Tyla is receiving the Beyonce Rihanna popstar look and rollout package, so they should have followed what those ladies did when they dropped their earlier upbeat tracks. They dropped them in the summer. Both songs were dropped in May because they were songs that are up-tempo that make people want to dance. I'm not saying people don't want to dance in autumn, but Tyla's music is summer defined. It's bright, warm, and fun, and I think her label really dropped the ball by releasing it in October. October is a month where people are throwing on Duvet by Boa, Insomniac by Memo Boy and Chakra and Fendi, and cozying up with their spice candles and fuzzy knit socks. Can you tell I miss autumn? This, to me, is the main reason Push to Start didn't do as well as Water. It's a punchy, sexy song that should have been released at the top of May, and that's not necessarily Tyla's fault, which leads me back to her latest drop, her EP, We Wanna Party. Her label also doesn't seem to be pushing it very heavily, since the only way I found out about it was because I'm doing this video. Her music or image isn't really being shoved down our throats like it should be. Even though Take Me Out My Mind received some attention on TikTok, I don't think we've seen enough engagement and anticipation from her for anything new she has on the way. Rihanna had the same problem even after she dropped Music of the Sun. Her label wasn't really pushing her as the next big thing because they had their eyes on someone else. To me, it's crazy how Tyla and Rihanna's debut story match so much. They both are the new quote unquote exotic pop girl that are kind of being pushed in that aesthetic. They both made a pop single that has the sound of their culture infused in it, and they both are having problems with their label not pushing them or their music correctly. The only way Rihanna was able to remedy this was by changing the way that her label was pushing her. That's when we saw her do the whole good girl gone bad gimmick. She took control of her image and decided how she wanted to be pushed, and people loved that new angle of hers. This is when we see Rihanna step away from that commercial dancehall fusion sound they were pushing onto her and see her become more experimental. This to me is what true artistry is, wanting to create something different and new and executing it wonderfully. As soon as we saw Ree start doing what she wasn't comfortable with, she changed her trajectory from fleeting pop star to pop legend. When it comes to music, the name of the game is versatility. Some of the best performers, best artists, best pop artists are known because they're so versatile and they're always willing to try new things and do something different with their craft. This leads me to the last point as to what is stopping Tyla's mega superstar success. Her lack of versatility. People say that Tyla music sound the same. So what? So what? A lot of that has to do with producers. It's happening to Sabrina Carpenter and Chapel Roan right now. They both have hits by the same producer. It also happened to Beyonce and Amiri, who both had hits by the same producer. And we can't talk about producers who make the same songs just in different fonts without bringing up Mustard and DJ Snake. That is how music comes to define an era. The 2010s wouldn't have been the 2010s without songs that DJ Snake or Mustard produced or David Guetta. It wouldn't have been the 2010s without the EDM influence in it. The 80s wouldn't have been the 80s without synth pop, and the early 2000s wouldn't have been the early 2000s without Dark Child's sparkle producer tag in the back of every song. Consistency and repetition is what defines eras of music, and it's what makes them nostalgic to go back and listen to them. So the same goes for Tyla. The person who produced Water is also the same person who produced Push to Start, so naturally they're going to sound the same. That's just what happens when you find a producer who makes a sound that you like that gives you a hit. The same can be said for Ice Spice and Riot. Stop playing with Riot. I don't know why we're expecting versatility from someone who just got here. She literally debuted in 2023. Beyonce didn't start getting experimental until she already had one album behind her back, and that's Beyonce. Tyla, she's doing the right thing. She's paving her way in a genre that gave her her hit, and she's establishing who she is as an artist and developing her sound and her image and her fan base for when maybe she does choose to step away from the genre. Who knows? And this leads me to my last point. Tyla is new. She just got here. And I know the South African girlies watching this, if you guys are watching this, are like, OMG, we been new Tyla. She's been around. America knows nothing. Yes, this is true. America is quick to export her media, but not so much in importing media from other countries. This is how they keep us arrogant and ignorant. That's why a single like Water is so amazing, because it literally crossed overseas and introduced her to an entirely new demographic of people, which is amazing. And to me, Tyla is a brand new face. This is why her brand might come off as lackluster, because we don't really know her. We don't know her at all. So it's going to take time for us to get to know who she is as a person. It's easy to discredit the success of Sabrina Carpenter and Chapel Roan by saying, well, they're white women, so they have it easier. Color doesn't equate to talent or star power. And I'm not saying they don't have their own privileges, they 100% do, but these women earn the spot they have in pop. For years, they released music consistently, albums, singles, EPs. They released them consistently. And these were projects that didn't make a lot of noise. But because music was their passion, they never gave it up. And please, let's not act like Tyla doesn't have her own privilege. Just because you're a woman of color doesn't mean you don't have your own privilege. I don't know where that came from. Please, have you looked at Tyla? Look at her. That is privilege. That woman is stunning, and she's the right shade of brown, and she's small, and just, that is privilege, okay? Moving on, this is the downside of having your sixth studio single be one that literally broke the internet. As of today, Water has 1 billion streams, and it got her a Grammy. Because of this, people expect her to be this powerhouse pop star, when in reality, she just got here. I can only imagine the pressure Tyla's feeling. Now, every song she puts out is up against a song that has 1 billion streams. It's like, where else can she go from here? So in conclusion, the reason why Tyla is not brought up in the Sabrina Carpenter Chappell Roan pop conversation is not because she's colored or because she was blackballed by Black Americans. It's not because America isn't ready for Afrobeats, and it's not because she isn't versatile. It's because she's new and doesn't have those years behind her. She hasn't earned that spot yet. She only has one studio album, and her label is still figuring out what to do with her. That's it. With Tyla, everything is new. Only time will tell where she will take her craft, and that's a beautiful thing. Success is not linear. Music is not linear. You can try new things and you can succeed in them. Tyla has the recipe to success in her hands. She's gorgeous and makes music in a genre that demands newness and fun that the entire world likes. It's up to her with what she'll do with the ingredients. Tyla is just getting started. We have yet to see what she's made of and how she'll let us know what makes her different from the rest. So ease up off, my girl, and let her cook.